Hi, welcome on the board, guys. Welcome again. So the last lecture was incomplete due to some reasons, due to brotherhood. So I thought this is a perfect time to complete that lecture again. So are you guys ready? Let's get started. We were dealing with that lecture. There was a soil forming process. So we covered half of the lecture, and today we are gonna the remaining lecture. So it would be amazing. I think you'll gonna enjoy. So we were on the second part of the late lecture. So just give me a second. Let me just arrange the things for you so you can get comfortable on the screen. Okay, all right. So we were on the second part of that lecture. So second part, what the second part is, the second part is that first we covered that one was so fundamental soil forming process. The first part was of that lecture. So there was the four processes. First one was humidification, then second one was eluviation, and third one was alluviation, fourth one was homogenization. So there was the first part, fundamental soil forming process. Then the second one that we gonna cover in today's lecture, so that is specific soil forming, specific pedogenic soil forming processes. Okay, so these processes are given by Dokuche. Who is the founder of this process? Dokuchev is the founder of specific soil forming processes. Okay, specific pedogenic soil forming processes is discovered by Dokuchev. So these are varies in number according to scientists, according to books. So they are varies from 7 to 10 according to books. There may be some missing in few books. So it's all depend on that. So let's get started one by one. So just give me a second. Okay. So first process we are going to cover, the first one is a salinization. Salinization is the first process we are going to cover. What is the salinization? It's, as the name suggests, salinization is talking about like a salt is the pronunciation is saying. So salinization is basically is what? It's an accumulation of salt. Accumulation, accumulation of salt on soil surface. Accumulation of salt on soil surface. On soil surface is known as salinization. This is the accumulation on the salt. This is accumulation of salt on the soil surface. Why it would be happen? Because of the climate. Climate is what? Arid and semi-arid. There is a scarcity of water. Scarcity city of water. Because of that, because of the scarcity of water, there is a temperature is too high. In because of this reason, the temperature is too high, then evaporation eventually, there is already scarcity of water, then eventually evaporation would be happen in that area. So what would be happen in that case? Let me just erase. In that case, there is a high temperature. These are the horizons. So there are the already salt present in the soil. These salt like sodium carbonate, sodium bicarbonate, there is a calcium, there may be the calcium salt as well, sulfate salt as well. So in that case, they'll dissolve in the water. So due to high temperature, evaporation will be happen. So due to capillary rise, due to capillary rise, these salts will be dissolved in the water and will come on the soil surface by the capillary action of water. And after that, evaporation would be happen. So water would be evaporated by the temperature, by the evaporation, but salts remain on the soil surface. These salts will come on soil surface by the capillary action. What is the capillary action? By the way, this is the capillary action is happens by cohesion and adhesion. Adhesion. So these are the force we already discussed. So capillary action is happened by the water through the forces through the wall of all of soil particles. So the water is raised. So these salts will come on the soil surface by the capillary action. Then water will be evaporate eventually, but salts remain on the soil surface. So they will cause the salinization. I hope it's clear to you. It would be happening that which area, arid or semi-arid, because there is a scarcity of water. Due to scarcity of water, temperature will be high, and that area then eventually evaporation will be transpiration or evaporation will be happen on that place. So these salt will come on soil surface, and due to evaporation, water will be evaporated from the surface, but salts remain on the soil surface. All right, I hope it's clear to you. So first we covered the first specific pathogenic process we completed. There is the salinization. I hope it's clear to you. Okay, let's move to the second one. What is the second one? Second one is desilication. Desalinization, sorry. What is that? Desalination. Okay, let it be. Second one is desalinization. Okay, okay. So salinization we already covered. The opposite of the salinization is desalinization. What would be happen in that case? Imagine that it would be happen. Let me just clear it. There was we did study in salinization. There was a region was arid and semi-arid, but in case of desalinization, the region would be humid. What would be in humid region? Imagine that there is a lots of salts in the soil or soil surface. Rainfall would be happens. Okay, so these salts will be dissolved in the water. They'll go inside the soil surface, soil profile. These are the horizons. So with the water, these salts will dissolve. These are the salts. So these salts with the water will go inside the soil profile through the leaching process, may be different, through the process of leaching. So this salt will go inside deep down into the soil profile due to water, due to rainfall. So this process is known as desilication. So how we can write it is it is removal of salts from upper part of soil profile. So this is known as desalinization, removal of salt from the soil profile. This is known as desalinization. This happens in which region? This is happens in a humid climate, or there is a rainfall is high rainfall. I hope it's clear to you, and you get it very easily. There's no big rocket science behind it. So okay, the third process is alkalinization. What is alkalinization? The another name of alkalinization is solidization. Solonization. Solonization. Pronunciation. Keep remember these things. Solonization is this. Okay. Alkalinization or solonization is the same. Okay. This is the this is the accumulation or absorption of sodium ion on the colloidal surface. Okay. What is this? This is accumulation or absorption. Adsorption. Not absorption. It's adsorption. Adsorption. Okay, let me just clear to you. There is a two term, adsorption or adsorption. So what is different? Okay, so these are two term, adsorption, absorption. Absorption, okay. Okay, this is B. Why I'm try this is like okay. This is adsorption or this is absorption. What is difference in this? In case of adsorption, adsorption is talk about on the surface. Anything will be accumulated on the surface. Okay, okay. Adsorption always talking about on the surface, and absorption is always talk about the within the surface. Within the surface, there is a simple difference. Adsorption, adsorption on the surface, absorption within the surface. Surface. This is the very minor difference. Can you get it? On the surface, this is the adsorption. In the surface, this is absorption. So absorption, adsorption are these things. Let me just say this. I hope it's clear to you. Let's come on the our alkalinization one again. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, right. So alkalinization is what? It's accumulation or adsorption of sodium ions on colloidal surface that is known as alkalinization. Alkalinization. Okay, so this is the alkalinization, accumulation of sodium ion on the colloidal surface. Why would it? If we'll talk about the reason of like this is the colloidal surface, this is a soil particle. There would be the accumulation of sodium. This is known as accumulation, alkalinization. Okay, this accumulation of sodium is known as alkalinization. The reason would be for happening these things is arid or semi-arid. Why it would be happen? Because imagine that there is a salt, there is a soil particles, okay, and there is a sodium salt. Let's say calcium carbonate or say calcium bicarbonate. Okay, so eventually the quantity of sodium salts is maximum and calcium and organic matter is very low in the soil. So this sodium will replace calcium from the soil colloids or soil particle, and sodium will accumulate on the soil particles. What would be happen in that case? Calcium will come in the soil solution, or calcium will be replaced by the sodium. Why it's happening? Because of that, there is not enough water for leaching of the salt. This is happening due to the scarcity of water. Scarcity of water. There is no enough water to leach down the salt into the soil profile. So this thing is happening in alkalinization. Okay, I hope you get it. pH is too high. There are the certain other parameter, but the things is important to remember is that accumulation of sodium ion on colloidal surface that is known as solidization or alkalinization. Okay, the climate is arid or semi-arid, and the soil formed through the alkalinization, that soil is known as alkaline soil. Okay, I hope it is clear too. Three things are very important to keep remember in mind. The first one is accumulation of sodium on colloidal particle. The second thing is climate, arid or semi-arid. Third thing is to keep remember is that alkaline soil is formed through the alkalinization. I forgot to tell you that by the process of salinization, the saline soil is formed. salinization. I was thinking like I'll tell all the process through their example in the end, but let me just give with the heading as well, so we can cover these things with the topics at the time of topic. So salinization, by the process of salinization, saline soil is formed. These things please keep remember in mind. Okay, let's go to the fourth one. The fourth process is, we already discussed the alkalinization, so we'll discuss dealkalinization. All right, or we can say solo digestion. Solo digestion. We just before that, on number third, we cover alkalinization or solonization. Solonization. But on the fourth number, there's a difference. This is solo digestion. This is solonization. So I want to tell this thing to you. Okay, just give me. Okay, let's get started. What is this dealkalinization or solo digestion? Just this is the opposite of, just like salinization or desalinization. So this is the opposite of alkalinization. So what we did discuss in alkalinization, the reason first thing we can discuss is that there was the semi or arid or semi-arid. So in this case of dealkalinization or solidization, the reason would be the humid. All right. Okay. So there was accumulation of or adsorption of sodium. So there would be the removal of sodium, removal of sodium, sodium ion, sodium ion from colloidal surface. Surface. All right. So this is the dealkalinization. I think we again the same trick will be work for this, because of water would be happen. So it sodium will form the salt and it will get leached down through the water eventually. So this would be the happen. I think it's clear to you. Let's move to the fifth one. I don't want to make this lecture too much long, because already we give in our first lecture we taught around a 10 minute about these things. So if we'll go around 20, 30 or 40 minutes, so it will be too longer to cover. So let's keep shorter things for learning, so you guys can get more attracted, or you have more affinity toward the short lecture. So this is the reason why I want to keep things shorter. Okay, shorter. What is this? Shorter. Good. So fifth one. So okay, Hindi is coming. Okay. So for that, so fifth one is that the calcification. Okay. What is the fifth one? The fifth one is a calcification. Okay. What would be happen in the calcification? First, we'll go for the reasons. Calcification will be happen in same like that sequence. Simultaneously, we'll follow the same sequence. It would be happen in a arid or semi-arid. These are. What is the calcification is? This is just an accumulation of the calcium carbonate in the soil profile. Accumulation of calcium carbonate. This is known as calcification. Very simple. It would be happen in arid or semi-arid region. The logic is same again. They imagine that calcium carbonate is due to scarcity of water, water will be evaporated eventually. There's the same things working for that. So, or due to high pH, these things happen in the soil. Cool. And the fifth one we can discuss. Sorry, the sixth one is just opposite of that. So it would be the decalcification. Decalcification. What is decalcification? Just opposite of that, calcification was accumulation, then it would be removal. Removal of calcification. What would be happen in decalcification? There would be the area humid because of that high rainfall. Rainfall. Okay. I hope it's clear to you. You guys can connect the dots for more details. So let's move to the one for the seventh one. Okay, so this is the gypsification. Simple, we can remember accumulation of gypsum into upper part of soil profile. Upper part of soil in upper part of soil, that thing is known as gypsification. Okay, accumulation of gypsum into upper part of soil. So temperature is, we already know that, arid or semi-arid. In case of accumulation, we know temperature goes to the toward arid or semi-arid. I hope it's clear to you. Let's move to the another one. These two are very important. It's frequently asked question in the examination. So please give more attention to these two last specific pedogenic process, even though on 14 November, oh sorry, on 13th of November, I given a net exam. So there was a question from this particular two in every soil science exam, in case of every soil related exam or any of agriculture examination that you're gonna give in the competition exam I'm talking about. So you'll face the question from these two always. So the was these two are, I think it's a eighth or ninth. I don't know what is the exact number, but the first one is letterization, and the second one is podulization. Okay, this is started. The Latin letterization word come from the Latin word letterite, which mean brick, bricks that we use to construct our house. Bricks are red in color. What is meaning by that bit? This is red in color. Bricks are generally red in color. Okay. Okay. So what, imagine that this is the soil profile. Okay. There is aluminium, iron, and silica. Okay. This is the upper part of soil profile. This is the lower part of soil profile. Cool. Same goes to this one. Okay, just first let's complete the letterization. Letterization word come from the Latin word that is letterite, which means bricks or red in color. Bricks are red in color. So what would be happen? In case of letterization, the aluminium and iron. Okay, let me just change the color. In the process of letterization, aluminium and iron will be of remain constant in the upper part of soil profile, but the silica goes least down into the lower part. Okay, due to hot or humid climate, silica get least down, but aluminium and iron will be remain constant in the upper part of soil, but silica get leached down. That process is known as laterization. So In detail, you can write like this. Laterization is a process in which iron or aluminium oxides, sorry, these are oxides, aluminum and iron oxides are accumulated in the upper part of soil, but silica leads down into the lower horizons. So this process is known as laterization. Okay. Aluminum and iron remain constant in the upper part of soil, or silica get leached down due to the hot or humid climate. Cool. I hope laterization is complete to you. Let's go to the second part. So, for, due to laterization, laterite soil is formed. Okay, this is the very basic thing we need to know. Laterite soil formed through this process. Cool. Okay, let's go to the podulization. Through this process, podulization, podule soil is formed. Very simple, no logic. Podule soil is formed due to podulization. What is that podule? Oh, by the way, podule is a podulization comes from the Russian word. That Russian word, podule. If you will break down this podule word, you will get pod plus jola. What is meaning by that? This this is like ash. I wrote the wrong word. Sorry for that. No worries at all. In Hindi, we can call it rock, wooden ash, or chola is like. So, podulization is a Russian word, so which is taken from the podjol. What is podjol? Is taken from podjol is made up of two words, pod plus jola. What is meaning by that pod? Pod is wooden ash. Wooden ash color like wooden ash, and jola mean same like. Okay. So what would be happen in case of the podulization? Let me erase it to explain you in better way. So like you guys can have comparison at the same time. You would not get confused anymore by these things. So in podulization, we'll make again the soil. There are two parts, upper and lower. We'll just do the opposite of these things. What there was the leaching of silica or accumulation of iron or aluminum oxide. So here would be the accumulation of silica, accumulation or leaching of iron or aluminum oxides. There would be the leaching of iron or aluminum oxides. So this phenomena is known as the podulization. So a process in which accumulation of silica in the upper part of soil or leaching of aluminum or iron oxide, that is known as podulization. The reason would be the climate would be cold and humid. Cool climate would be cold and humid. There was hot and humid in case of laterization, but in case of the podulization, it would be it would be happen in the cold or humid. That they are talking about the upper part of like India in case of the Himalayan region, but in case of the hot or humid, we can refer the southern part of India. Okay, southern part. I hope it's clear to you guys. These things, these two things are very important to keep remember. You'd face lots of question from there. I hope whenever you're gonna sitting for the exam, you'll get this question. And if you get any of concept clear, if you get your question right, my job is done here. So thank you guys to stay for the till end, and I hope you enjoy the lecture. Will whenever I'll get time, then I'll record the another lecture for you to make simple soil science for you guys, and at the same time it's my benefit as well to getting my communication skills better and to get my confused very clear to take it remember for a longer time. So these are the reasons why I recorded these kind of things that may help you guys as well at the same time. So I hope you enjoy the lecture, and thank you so much to be standing till the end.